Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jayo Radha Madhava Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jayo Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Shri Radhe, Jayo Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jayo Krishna Balaram, Jayo Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Jayo Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Jayo Vrindavan Dham, Jayo Jayo Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jayo Subhadra, Baladeva, Jayo Subhadra, Jayo Gauranitai, 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 Jayo Gauranitai, Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jayo Gauran, Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtotara Shata Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai, Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatiruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for today's discussion of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. We are reading from Canto 9, Chapter 6, titled as The Downfall of Saubhari Muni. And we are reading from verse number 41 and 42. Savichintya priyam strinam jarathoham asanmatah Vali palita eta ejatka ityaham pratyudahritah Savichintya priyam strinam jarathoham asanmatah Vali palita ejatka ityaham pratyudahritah Savichintya priyam strinam jarathoham asammatah Vali palita ejatka ityaham pratyudahritah. Prabhuji's. Ityaham pratyudahritah. Mataji's. priyam strinam masanmataha savichintya priyam strinam jaratoham asanmataha ityaham pratyudahritah vichintya priyam strinam toham asammatah. I'll read the second verse and then we'll read the word to word. Sadhayishye tathatmanam surastrinam abhipsitam kim punarmanjude manujendranam iti vyavasitah prabhuhu. Word to word translation. Saha, he, Saubhari Muni, vichintya, thinking to himself, apriyam, not liked, strinam, by the woman, jarataha, being infirm because of old age, aham, I, asatmataha, not desired by them, vali, wrinkled, palitaha, grey-haired, ejatkaha, with the head always trembling, iti, in this way, aham, I, pratyudahritah, rejected by them, surastrinam, to the celestial woman of the heavenly planets. Abhipsitam, desirable. Kim, what to speak of. Punaha, yet. Manuja Indranam, of the daughters of the worldly kings. Iti, in this way. Vyavasitaha, determined. Prabhuhu, Saubhari, the greatly powerful mystic. So there are a few verses without the purports. I'll read up to 46 and then we can learn. Saubhari Muni thought, I am now feeble because of old age. My hair has become grey, my skin is slack, and my head always trembles. Besides, I am a yogi. Therefore, women do not like me. Since the king has thus rejected me, I shall reform my body in such a way as to be desirable even to celestial women, what to speak of daughters of worldly kings. Muni praveshitah kshatra kanyatah puram ridhimat vritasya raja kanyabhir ekam panchashatah varaha. Translation, thereafter, when Saubhari Muni became quite a young and beautiful person, the messenger of the palace took him inside the residential quarters of the princesses, which were extremely opulent. All 50 princesses then accepted him as their husband, although he was only one man. 44. Tasam kalir abhud bhuyam tadarthe pohya sauhridam Mamanurupo nayam va iti tadgata chetasam. Thereafter the princesses being attracted by Saubhari Muni gave up their sisterly relationship and quarreled among themselves, each one of them contending, this man is just suitable for me and not for you. In this way there ensued a great disagreement. Sabahrichastabhir sabahrichastabhir aparaniya tapashriyanarghya parichadeshu griheshu nano pavanamalamabha sarashu saugandhika kananeshu maharhasaya sanavastra bhushana snananulepabhyavahara malyakaihi svalankrita stri purusheshu nityada remenugaya dvijabhringa vandishu. Translation: because Saubhari Muni was expert in chanting mantras perfectly, his severe austerities resulted in an opulent home with garments, ornaments, properly dressed and decorated maidservants and manservants, and varieties of parks with clear water lakes and gardens. In the gardens, fragrant with varieties of flowers, birds chirped and bees hummed, surrounded by professional singers. Saubhari Muni's home was amply provided with valuable beds, seats, ornaments, and arrangements for bathing, and there were varieties of sandalwood creams, flower garlands, and palatable dishes. Thus, surrounded by opulent paraphernalia, the Muni engaged in family affairs with his numerous wives. Purport: by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Saubhari Rishi was a great yogi. Yogic perfection makes available 8 material opulences: Anima, Laghima, Mahima, Prapti, Prakamya, Ishitva, Vashitva, and Kama Vasayita. Saubhari Muni exhibited super excellence in material enjoyment and by dint of his yogic perfection. The word Bhāva-richa means expert in chanting mantras. As material opulence can be achieved by ordinary material means, it can also be achieved by subtle means through mantras. By chanting mantras, Saubhari Muni arranged for material opulence. But this was not perfection in life. As will be seen, Saubhari Muni became very dissatisfied with material opulence and thus left everything and re-entered the forest in the Vanaprastha order and achieved final success. Those who are not Atma Tattvavit, who do not know the spiritual value of life, can be satisfied with external material opulences. But those who are Atma Tattvavit are not inspired by material opulence. This is the instruction we can derive from the life and activities of Saubhari Muni. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishna Vamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yam pravrjantam anupetam apeta krityam dvaipayana viraha katara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo bhinedu stham sarva bhuta hridayam munimanatosmi. So, we are reading a wonderful pastime of Saubhari Muni. But before we go into the pastime, it's always my habit to glorify Bhagavatam, because that will invoke us an interest into what transcendental literature we are actually learning from. It so happens, in the first canto, Bhagavatam actually declares itself of its advent. How did Bhagavatam come into the being, actually? And Vyasadeva, after arranging the 4 Vedas, then composed the great epics, Itihasa. What are they? What are the 2 historical epics that Vedavyasa has written? Mahabharata and Ramayana. So after composing these 2 magnanimous works, he then also composes 17 Puranas. Right? And after all of this, he was still despondent. He was not happy, he was not satisfied. You know, sometimes you want to achieve something, you've achieved so many things and you're still remaining dissatisfied, and in this case it was spiritual. It was a spiritual achievement, and yet Vyasadeva was very despondent. And then right there, Narada Muni enters the scene. You know, this is Bhagavatam actually speaking about Bhagavatam itself. How did Bhagavatam come into the being? It's very interesting how the scriptures speak about themselves. And then, when Narada Muni comes, Vyasadeva apparently is the disciple of Narada Muni. Well, our Vyasadeva is the Supreme Lord himself, because our Vyasadeva is, what is our Vyasadeva's name? Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. Krishna Dvaipayana, because he is the color of Krishna. He is also deep, darkish blue in color. If you see in the picture in one of our Bhagavatams, you will see Vyasadeva is in deep, dark blue in color. He's Krishna, he's Krishna Varnam. But he was born on a Dvipa. Dvipa means island. So therefore he is Krishna. One who comes from the Dvipa is Dvaipayana Vyasa. Vyasa is a position, and every Kalpa, Vyasadeva's position changes, and there is one person who takes the position of Vyasadeva. And apparently the next Vyasa, who is the next Vyasadeva? That is also determined already, and he's already taken birth. He's Ashwathama. So he's going to be the next Vyasadeva. So our Vyasadeva right now is a Supreme Lord's incarnation, but literally incarnation of the Lord. So apparently in this pastime, he's playing the pastime of a disciple of Narada Muni. So Narada Muni walks in, and he asks and he inquires from his Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, I've done so many achievements, I've written everything for the people of Kali, but for some reason I'm still feeling dissatisfied. The dissatisfaction is there. And then Narada Muni explains, Jignasitam susampannam apite mahadadbhutam kritavan bharatam yastvam sarvartha paribrimhitam. It is said, Mahabharata is such an epic literature. First of all, what is the size of Mahabharata? What is the size of Bhagavatam in terms of verses? You've got 18,000 verses in the in this Mother Earth. But in Devaloka, they have 1 million verses in Bhagavatam. At least for us, it is 18,000 verses. Mahabharata, how many verses does Mahabharata have? 100,000 verses. It's 100,000 verses. And the whole of Mahabharata has been written in 2 chandas. If you see in Bhagavad Gita, you will see both the chandas in Mahabharata, of Mahabharata. So the composition is so huge, and it covers entire gamut of what has to be understood from the Vedas. And in fact, Mahabharata, everybody can read, because, Vedas, not everybody has the adhikara to read except for the second initiated. The Dijottamas can study Vedas, but Mahabharata, anyone and everyone can study Mahabharata, and all of the Vedic literature's culmination is there in the Mahabharata. And despite you compiling Mahabharata, jignasitam susampannam sarvartha paribrimhitam, you are still dissatisfied. And Narada Muni says, jignasitam adhitam cha brahma yattat sanataram tatapi sochasya atmanam kritartha iva prabho. And you have spent so much time compiling the Brahma Sutra. Brahma here means Vedas, because Brahma means huge also. You have compiled the Vedas, you have compiled the Vedanta Sutra, and then you are still dissatisfied. And then in the last verse, in 159, I suppose, Narada Muni gives the clue. He says, Yatha dharmadayas muni Munivaryanu kirtitaha. Yatha dharma adayascha artha. You have spoken about everything. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Dharma, artha. Yatha dharma adayascha artha. You have given so many explanations in detail. Munivaryanu kirtitaha. Munivarya, anukirtitaha. You have explained so many based on your realizations. Natatha vasudevasya. You have explained all of this, but they all have, because, see, what are the Vedas speaking about? What do the Vedas speak about? Huh? It speaks about Vasudeva only, because in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Vedecha Purana Mahabharata Tatha Sarvatra Harigiyate. Every verse, every syllable of the Vedas, of entire gamut of the Vedic scriptures sing about only one object of importance, that is Hari. Sarvatra Harigiyate. But the problem is, no matter how much you explain about Hari, you have to give prominence about Krishna. Is there not explanations about Krishna in Mahabharata? It is. Krishna's own words are in Mahabharata. Bhagavad Gita comes from Mahabharata. Then he says, no matter how much you say, it is not enough. So therefore, you have to dedicate one more literature, which is the culmination. Na tatha vasudevasya mahimahi anuvarnitaha. You have explained enough, but I want you to explain more. And that too, directly the pastimes of Vasudeva. Who Vasudeva? Vasudeva Krishna. So therefore, this is what led to the advent of Bhagavatam. So then Vyasadeva goes into deep meditation, and from that meditation emanates, manifests Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. And then, interestingly, we also studied in a few classes before that Bhagavatam also is a culmination of the Vedanta Sutra. You see, generally in the Vedic parlance, when a boy becomes 8 years old, he is given a ceremony called as Upanayana Samskaram. He is given initiation by his guru. So guru comes. There is two types of initiations. One is Upanayanam and the other one is Kanyadanam. For a girl, it is Kanyadanam. The husband comes as the guru and takes the girl with him. That is Kanyadanam. The father gives Kanya as a dana. For one who has a boy, they also have to give the boy as danam for the guru, because guru comes in at the age of 8, when the boy is 8. He then the guru instructs the disciple, the boy who is 8-year-old, with Gayatri mantra, and then takes the boy with him. So this process is called Upanayana Samskara. What he gives the Gayatri mantra, then Gayatri becomes the mother of the boy, and the guru becomes the father. And then the boy is taken to the Gurukula, and then the boy has to chant the Gayatri for the next 4 years, tending the cows and doing menial work to the guru for 4 years until he is 12. So when he is 12 years old, he achieves the adhikar to study the Vedas, because he has chanted under the instructions in the shelter of Gayatri, Mother Gayatri. Savituhu, Tat Savituhu, we say in the Gayatri mantra. Savituhu is Surya Deva or Surya Narayana, or the life giver of everything that exists. Who is that? Who is the life giver of everything that exists? Krishna. So therefore the whole Gayatri mantra is actually a glorification of the Lord. So, but under the shelter of Mother Gayatri. So this Gayatri is the mother of, or the essence of the entire Vedas. Therefore, one who chants the Gayatri for 4 years then becomes enabled to study the Vedas. Until then, he is not eligible. Therefore, Shringi, when he cursed Parikshit Maharaj, he was 12 years old. He was not even 12, he was chanting Gayatri. So because of the power of Gayatri, he could curse Parikshit Maharaj. You see? So he had still did not have the adhikar to study the Vedas. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Because when Vyasadeva starts to compile Bhagavatam, he starts with Janmadi Asya Yataha. Therefore, the first verse of Bhagavatam is nothing but Gayatri Mantra. In a different way. Because Gayatri Mantra, if you go and ask in Bharata Bhumi, many people translate Gayatri as so many things. They'll say this is the glorification of Gayatri, Mother Gayatri, and Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesha, Lord the goddess, Sun God. So many things, but nobody knows the inner, deeper, deepest, actual, factual meaning of Gayatri Mantra. That factual meaning is elucidated in the first verse of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Therefore, it is Gayatri Bhāshau Sau. Therefore, it reveals through the Gayatri Mantra. That is why it says, Janmadyasya yatonvayat itaratas charteshva bhignaswarat tene brahma hridayadi kavaye muhyanti surayah tejo vari mridam yatha vinimaya yatra trisargo mrisha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. He left the clue with that word that Dhimahi means Gayatri, and the actual meaning of Gayatri is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the glorification of Gayatri is Vasudeva. So that is how he starts Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So therefore, we don't have to worry if we do not have had the Upanayana Samskara, we still are eligible to read and chant the Gayatri Mantra. Which Gayatri Mantra? That Gayatri Mantra which Vyasadeva has given us in terms of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, the first verse of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So that is the glory of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Now, such an important literature speaks about so many pastimes. And in this case, speaking about a Muni, Saubhari Muni. So what has happened here, let's come back to the context now. There is an explanation. In this canto, there are so many kings that come in this canto. So many munis, so many kings come in this canto. Now think about this. This canto, what does it represent in terms of Krishna's body? You all know Bhagavatam refers many parts of the body of Krishna. Yes, it refers the neck just before we see the lotus face of Krishna. Because 10th canto, before we enter the 10th canto, this is the 9th canto. So therefore, these kings and these episodes prepare our consciousness to be able to enter into the 10th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So therefore, Prabhupada in the 46th verse says, these are instructions that we can derive as practitioners of bhakti. So Saubhari Muni was a very elevated sage. How do we know that? How do we know he was an elevated sage? He was, Prabhuji? Yes, he was performing austerities under a river where? Yamuna river, not in Ganga. So therefore we have to understand there is a clue that Bhagavatam says. So it's bringing us close to Vrindavan now, closely, you see. He was inside Yamuna. Now, King Mandhata, the story goes like this, that Saubhari Muni has decided to do tapasya inside the river. Why did he go inside the river? Sorry? He will not be distracted. I remember when I was doing my engineering, when we had moved houses, there were a lot of construction going on around our house, too much noise. So near my house there used to be an university campus, Bangalore University campus, very peaceful. So I used to go in my bike and search a quiet place where there are birds chirping, the flow of water, and sit there and study. It used to be nice, but most of the time I would just get distracted to the nature around me. But we are always in search of peace, is it not? Saubhari Muni also thought, I will go down under the water and peacefully do meditation, peacefully chant. How many times we decide we should go and lock ourselves in a room and chant nicely? Is it not? Do you all agree? But someone also comes with us when we enter the room. Who comes with us? Huh? The mind? But nowadays we also have a friend. The black guy. No, this one who has a black cover. This also comes inside. Kali enters, Kali has been given so many places. We forgot, the mobile also has Kali's place also now. The new place of Kali. So he's entered and we enter, and most of the times we are in the room alone, but what is happening? We have our mind, and with that mind we have another external manifestation of that mind, which is the mobile. So like that, Saubhari Muni also thought, by going under the river, I'll be peacefully meditating. I was hearing a lecture. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj says, nowadays, sadhus go to Himalayas to meditate. Very quiet, mountains, freezing temperature. Even in those Himalayas, time and again you will see planes going on the top. So there also there is no peace of mind. There's no peace of mind anywhere in this material world. So even sadhus are disturbed. So they'll be looking at the plane when they are meditating. So they can't be peaceful anywhere actually. So here Saubhari Muni is meditating under the water, and while meditating, what is happening? So two things have happened. Because he's meditating underwater, what has happened? His body, you work with water for a long time, what happens to your hands? It gets wrinkles, isn't it? Wrinkles. Your hands gets wrinkled up, isn't it? You spend too much time. Matajis will know better because they'll be doing the dishes most of the time, unless if some Prabhu helps them out. But the hands get wet, and because of wetness, it gets wrinkled, isn't it? So this person, Saubhari Muni, was there underwater for many years. And imagine, he had and his body had wrinkles. So it is, in this verse we read right now, 41st verse, if you really see, and Bhagavatam explains it so nicely. Vali palita ejatka. Vali palita. Vali palita means wrinkled. Vali means wrinkled. It was wrinkled, all wrinkled. And grey hair. And right then when he was meditating, what did he see? He saw two fishes copulate. Fishes, think about it. It's not even human. Fishes. And just that one sight brought, what happened? It brought a desire into him that if the fishes can enjoy, why can't I? I can't enjoy because I don't have a woman with me. So therefore I need to enjoy. So that desire cropped up. And what did he do? Immediately he broke up his meditation. He started working on that desire. He started working towards that desire. So this was the beginning of the fall down of Saubhari Muni. So let us put things in perspective. First thing, many people will think, Prabhuji, we cannot understand the Bhagavatam. How can somebody meditate under the water for such a long time? We don't believe all of this. So we have to put things in perspective. Bhagavatam is a transcendental literature. Think about an ant, When an ant is walking on the street, now let us all think about like we're all ants and walking on the street. And when it sees a big leaf, or maybe sugarcane, somebody's chewed sugarcane and thrown it, and it tries to lift it, the ant will not be able to lift it. And the ant will think, if at all my father was there, he could have lifted it. Ants will think like that. And then when it comes to see a big mound of sugarcane bundle, it will think, my God, this is a mountain of sugar. I will not be able to lift it, and nobody in my community will be able to lift it. That's how the ant thinks, is it not? But for a human, it's easy. He'll just lift the bundle of sugarcane and walk. But when the human sees a mountain, he will say, nobody can lift a mountain, I can lift a bundle of sugarcane, but not a mountain. So therefore, when they see and hear Hanuman lifted Sanjeevani Parvat, Govardhan, Krishna lifted now everybody will think, what are these devotees? What has devotees got to do with lifting mountains? I don't know. He lifts the mountain, his disciple lifts the mountain, Hanuman lifted the mountain, Krishna came and lifted the mountain. So lifting mountains is a pastime of devotees and the Lord. So the ant will think what it cannot achieve, nobody can achieve it. Humans also will think it's an ant mentality. What I cannot do, nobody can do it. What humans cannot do, nobody can do it. So therefore it has to be mythology. Is it not? For example, right now as we speak, Narmada, River Narmada, there is one sadhu. I don't know his name. Somebody had forwarded me a video. This sadhu, it has been, I think, 8 to 10 years since he has eaten or drunk anything. He's not even eaten a morsel of grain of food for the last 5-6 years. And he only drinks once or twice water from the river Narmada. And he walks up to 50-60 kilometers a day, traveling around Narmada river to make people aware of to protect the Narmada river. Narmada again is a very glorious river like Yamuna Devi. So how is he able to do it? How is he able to sustain without eating? There are so many people who are called as, there's some terminology. Anybody knows what they are called as? Who live only on sun? They don't eat, they don't even drink water. I keep forgetting the name. Huh? Akashavritti? No, there's another English word actually. Anyways, there are people who can live without water and food for decades. And they're physically very active, mentally very active. It's not that they're sitting and, suffering. No. How is their body sustaining? It is beyond medical fraternity to understand how their bodies survive. So like that. But somebody who have never met them, they will think nobody can survive without water for food. I can understand without water for 10 days, maybe 40 days, but there are people who have lived for years without water. So this is putting things into perspective. So therefore, Saubhari Muni had transformed himself into an amphibian. You know what's an amphibian? What is an amphibian? Science students, Chaitanya Priya, Sivya. They can live both water and land. Is it not like a frog, a crocodile? It can swim underwater, it can stay underwater for long and also stay on land. So Saubhari Muni had transformed due to his yogic powers and he can stay underwater for long. But what had happened, just by sight of one fish copulating, he fell down. What is the lesson we can see? The lesson that we can understand, the Shastras time and again repeat this because fall down can happen by anyone, no matter what level of sadhana they are in. Fall down can happen. And fall down can happen in the most trivial circumstances. It doesn't have to be big. It can be a one instance. For example, these days, adult thing is stuffed into everywhere. If you go to modern education, you will see in the garb of adult education, they start poisoning the children's minds as young as 10-year-old. Go and see what type of books they read at the age of 5th grade. 5th grade it starts. In Australia at least, I've been teaching children. From the 5th grade, they start stuffing adult education into the children's mind. Now what are they thinking? They will say, we will educate the children about sex and the dangers of sex. But in the garb of educating them, they instigate them. This is the problem. This is the problem. They do not know how to educate them, and 10 years is not the age to educate, in fact, because right then they don't even know the difference between a man and a woman. They're very innocent. But right then they are poisoning the children's minds. So therefore, fall down can happen to anyone and everyone at any stage. What is another example of a fall down? In Bhagavatam that we study, where a Brahmana boy falls down, just by one sight. Ajamila. One sight was enough. One sight was enough for one person to fall down. So therefore, the pedagogy is a word, the teaching methodology of Bhagavatam is unique. Therefore, somebody has to learn about adult education, come to Bhagavatam. So it will warn us how to learn. So therefore, it is very important because, especially for sadhakas, especially for practitioners of bhakti, because in the Katha Upanishad there is a verse, Uttishta Jagrita Prapya Varanni Bodhata Kshurasya Dharaha Nishita Duratyaya Durgam Pathastat Kavayo Vadanti. Those who are walking on the path of spirituality, it is Kshurasya Dharaha. It is like a knife walking on the razor sharp edge of a knife. A little bit of distraction here and there will cut your feet. It's very difficult to walk on spirituality, very difficult. Especially who have begun the practice of bhakti. Why is that? It is said that sometimes devotees say, Prabhu, before I was chanting, my mind was very peaceful. But after I have started chanting, so many dangerous thoughts comes to my mind. Somebody has experienced it? Why is that? And you will feel, I was not like this before. But after I'm trying to becoming a devotee, I'm getting dangerous thoughts which I've never got when I was a karmi. Has anyone experienced this? Maybe not many, but I have experienced it. Why? Why is it so? Is that because bhakti is very weak? Why is it that a practitioner of bhakti or a practitioner of spirituality for that matter gets such dangerous thoughts which he has not experienced before the practice of bhakti? Sorry? Yeah, so the desires are deep in our heart, and when the practitioner starts practicing his bhakti, he is churning his heart. We do this in our Bhakti Vriksha programs. So when you clean a dirty house, the dust spreads all over. So the desires come up. So when the desires are coming up, it is actually the cleansing process is happening, it's working. So then what should a sadhaka do? What is the advice by Krishna himself? Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha. Rasovarj, what is the verse? Chaitanya Priya? Rasavarjam? Rasopasya. Then last line? Param drishtva nivartate. You see? Because when the thoughts come, but should not act on the thought. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bijayate. A thought comes in. So many thoughts comes in and bubbles up. The practitioner should distance himself from the mind to say, oh my dear mind, please come back to Krishna's lotus feet. You have to instruct the mind. Rather than if I don't instruct the mind, if I associate myself with the mind, then you will say, for example, somebody is chanting and then 5:15, has the milk sweets gone up? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Wonder who's made the milk sweets today. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, it must be that Prabhuji. Oh, these rasmalais are very delicious. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You know? And then let us see, Hanuman Das, get up quickly, go now because people will finish off all the rasmalais. Please go, especially the brown burfis, You've been so long since you've eaten the brown burfis. Hare Krishna, no. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You've seen this fight happen? You've seen this fight happen, especially in the morning times when you're chanting. The mind keeps telling you, it's been so long since you've eaten the sweets. It's all right. After all, it's Krishna Prasadam. The brown pedas are same like Mathura, Vrindavan. It will take you back to Vrindavan. Go and taste it. The mind is so vicious. It tries so many ways to take you away from Krishna's engagements. So many ways. It will try to tell you, try to eat the same prasadam. And that person will say, yes, let me go and taste rasmalai. He will go up and eat 1, 2, 3, 4 rasmalais and then finish. After half an hour, he's keep on eating. And by that time, he's eaten so much sweets. Now the taste for holy name has gone down. So like that, so many distractions. How immune are we in today's day and age? So therefore, a sadhaka has to be very careful. What is the one solution for us to safeguard our mind? What is the one solution in the scriptures that is given to safeguard on our mind, and which Saubhari Muni did not have? Yes. What is that? Association. But any association, is it okay? Any association with devotees is okay? Now, sincere practitioner will see, even among devotees, association have to be important. What type of association you are keeping? Because even among devotees, there are so many taratamyas. There is gradation of devotees as well. You associate with a devotee who is very interested in investing in properties. After 1 week, you will also be thinking, Prabhuji, you are telling me to invest in Point Cook, Prabhuji. Where shall I invest, Prabhu? Please tell me, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhu, I'll tell you where I have to invest, Because you are associating with a devotee, So, tell me who your friends are, I will tell you who you are. Associate with a devotee who is deriving deep ecstasy from the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. You will also find ways, how can I go deep into the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra? Is it not? Yes or no? Associate with a devotee who likes to have palatable dishes, have a very comfortable home, have a very comfortable car, have very comfortable clothes, especially branded clothes. You go with this devotee and he will justify, Prabhuji, a devotee should always be pakka. Prabhuji? Should always wear pakka clothes, pakka car, so that he will know, he'll just by his demeanor, he will say, devotee means you should be like this. You should eat pakka food, only organic. Yes, Prabhuji, I will only buy organic, Prabhuji. And then what will happen? He has no means. Yesterday Anirudh Prabhu was saying, going beyond the means, extravagant. Extravagant means going beyond the means. Now he has to fulfill the branded clothes, branded car, branded food, organic food. What will happen? He has no means to fulfill it. Then he will say, Srimati, by the way, why don't you apply for this job? And then wife is also sent out. Then he will see, when will my child become, 18? We can send him also quickly. Then the household income will increase so that I can fulfill. Then devotee will become pakka. Is it correct? So therefore, even among devotees, you have to be careful. Like for example, intermingling of boys and girls, especially in devotees. You have to be very careful. If you don't keep a brahmacharya when you are young, finish. I meet devotees even today, because in their early days of teenage, they have done very bad things, illicit activities. Even today, even after 20 years of practicing of bhakti, they cannot control their mind. Vicious thoughts comes to their mind when they chant. The most horrendous thoughts comes to their mind because they have let their mind loose when they were in teenage. Intermingling, common mingling. And they say, Prabhu, devotees hai na Prabhuji. No, you have to be very careful. Therefore, you see right now, women are sitting here, men are sitting here. It's important. It's important. We cannot bring in modern woke concept to mingle everything anywhere and everywhere. We cannot bring that. Why? Because scriptural rules are for a purpose, because you have to safeguard your consciousness. Someone might say, why do Matajis take darshan in the end? Have you seen first Prabhujis come and then Matajis come? A person who does not understand will say, very discriminatory practice. Women and men have to be equal, you know. But you think about it. What's the meaning? Why do men go first? Anybody knows that? How many of Matajis became angry that men go first, I should be in the first? You know, you might think like that. Why? Important to understand. There is a process for everything and there is a deeper meaning for everything. Why? Because they are mothers. Mothers let the children go first. That's the meaning. Let them, and men are like kids, you go first. And mothers come in the end after the children have taken darshan. That is why we call them Matajis. That is why we call them Matajis. That's the whole purpose. Because if the children are left behind, then they are distracted. They're either distracted of who's in the front. Yeah? Who is in the front? Oh, long hair. What a beautiful hair. So rather than the deities, they'll be looking at something else. Because it's the mind. It's the consciousness with which they have gone through. So therefore, the children are left first. The agitated minds are go like, okay, all the men are done their job, and then the mothers will come take darshan. So there is a process for everything. There is protection of consciousness. It is protection of consciousness the scriptures outlays. So therefore, Saubhari Muni fell down just with one side. Now one may think, Prabhu, then everybody falls down because of one happening like that? No. It depends on the intensity of interactions they had with their material objects. I'll tell you a beautiful example. Today is the appearance day of Vrindavan Das Thakur. Incidentally, Ekadashi today also is the appearance day of our 17th Acharya in the disciplic succession, Brahmanya Tirtha, who was the Acharya, the Guru of Vyasa Tirtha. In the 10th of our Guru Parampara, we have Jaya Tirtha. I'll just give you an example of Jaya Tirtha. About one incident what happened in his life. And what is the difference between a person who has vasanas deep down in his heart. In case of Saubhari Muni or Ajamila, he had desires in his heart. Due to his engagements in this life or previous life, there are desires. You know, when we are busy I'll tell you the episode and then you'll understand. So, there was the Guru of Jayatirtha who was meditating on the river of Kaveri, deeply meditating the Lord for what? He was yearning for a disciple. He was yearning, to whom will I pour all this knowledge? I want a capable disciple, my dear Lord. I want a disciple. I don't see anybody eligible. So this is the pain of a guru always. A guru always seeks a glorious disciple. Just like Bhakti Siddhanta was waiting for a disciple like that. Bhakti Vinod Thakur was waiting for a disciple like that. Wish I had one son who can glorify the Lord, who can take this Gauranga Mahaprabhu's teachings everywhere. And lo and behold, he had who? Vimal Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was yearning for a Senapati disciple. And lo and behold, Prabhupada came in. And Prabhupada had a desire to have disciples. And lo and behold, we have wonderful disciples, Srila Prabhupada's disciples around the world, preaching. Glorious disciples. His Holiness Gaur Govind Maharaj, Radha Govind Maharaj, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Radha. Beautiful disciples, glorious disciples whom we can emulate in this. And we are so fortunate to be even in these times, to be associating with them. So, like this, the Guru was lamenting. And immediately he gets an intuition that the first sight of a person who comes to drink water from the river will be your disciple. Okay, then he continues to meditate and sit there at the river. And then this person, Jayatirtha, was a nobleman. Actually, he was born to a Deshastha Brahmana, but he was working as a Kshatriya, very rich. He was a son of a prince of a very rich man. So he was trained as a warrior. So he comes on the horse, but he was so benevolent that he feeds, not only he was thirsty, but the way he used to drink water was very unique. So when he's filled with armor all the time, so he drives the horse right into the water, right into the river. He's sitting on the horse. And sitting on the horse, when the horse is at this level, when the horse is drinking, he also puts his mouth to the flow of the river and starts drinking the water. He doesn't drink it with his hands. He's holding his sword and he also drinks like a bull. And then the Acharya sees him. And then after he drinks the water, he comes out. And he tells a sentence to this person. The sentence is, were you an animal in your last life? Imagine, it's a very derogatory sentence in today's parlance. Modern education says, that is very insulting, sir. But the moment the Acharya said this one sentence, were you an animal in your last life? His whole past 2-3 lives of recollection came back to him. Immediately he falls to the lotus feet of his guru and he says, give me transcendental knowledge, I surrender unto you. One sentence. So therefore, now compare this, and I'll tell you why that happened, because in past life, he was a bull. He was a bull in his last life. And he was the personal bull of Shripad Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya himself was an incarnation of Bhima and Hanuman. And he used to go and meet his guru Vyasadeva where? In Badrinath, in the Himalayan mountains. And when he used to walk back to Udupi, he used to spontaneously recite the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, the Puranas, the Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, the Gita Bhashya. He used to just dictate, and his disciples used to make note of it. Many disciples, not one copies. Those times we didn't have printers and photocopy machines. So Prati, it's called Pratilena. Prati means to copy. So there used to be many disciples who used to note down whatever the Acharya used to dictate. Just like Prabhupada's disciples used to record his lectures, they used to write down. And all those recorded things, they have to carry it, right? So they had a bull which used to walk with them. And everything was tied on that bull. Okay. So on one place, Madhvacharya was sitting in a place and the disciples asked Madhvacharya, Acharya, after you leave, who will carry the glory of your teachings? Who will be, basically they wanted to say, who will be the next in here, next main Acharya, the Founder-Acharya of Madhva Sampradaya. Madhvacharya could see the envious nature of these disciples and he knew that they will fight. And these are personal disciples of Acharya Madhva. He looked, and the way he used to teach, when Madhvacharya used to preach, he used to wait until the bull used to come. And the bull used to come and sit a little far away. And then when Acharya Madhva used to start teaching, the bull's ears used to get, and they say, Acharya Madhva used to preach in such a way, even the bull could understand what he was speaking. So he used to wait until the bull also used to come and sit. So when the disciples asked who would be the next, Acharya Madhva pointed to the bull and he said, he will be my next successor. And all of these disciples became envious. Immediately they cursed together, the bull may die by a snake bite. And then Acharya Madhva actually brings him back from the snake bite. And then he tells his disciple, because I have brought him back from life, this shows that he will still be my successor. So he chastises his disciples like that. And that bull comes as Jayatirtha in the 14th century. And therefore he was drinking water like a bull. He doesn't drink it from his hands. And all the weight he has carried of the written scriptures of Acharya Madhva, all that just manifests automatically to him after his guru initiates him. He doesn't have to study from, he has never studied Vedas, he has never studied anything. And he says, I don't know anything, Guru Maharaj. He says, you don't have to know everything. Everything will be manifested to you within a span of time. Don't worry. You know what age he took initiation? 20 years. Till then he was just a ruler, Kshatriya. 20 years he comes and 50 years he leaves, he winds up his pastime. It is said he went into a cave and disappeared. Because he was a combined incarnation of Indradev and Adishesha. So therefore he could glorify the Lord like that and write scriptures. So much so, he's the 10th in our disciplic succession. All the acharyas refer to only Jayatirtha's works. In fact, Prabhupada also in his Bhagavatam commentary refers to one more glorious commentator from the Madhvacharya called Vijayadvaja Tirtha. Verse to verse commentary. So he was a contemporary of Jayatirtha. So Jayatirtha is also called as Tikakrit Pada. Tikakrit means he's written so many commentaries on all the works of Acharya Madhva. So we come in that disciplic succession. And today, there is another glorious appearance day of Vrindavan Das Thakur. So we will just meditate a few minutes before we complete the session. And the reason why I mentioned this is, whatever is inside only will come out. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj was giving an example. I know you've seen this, you've heard this example umpteen number of times. One of the disciples asks him, why do I get angry? Why do I feel, angry so quickly? And Maharaj said, whatever is inside will only come out. So what you are inside will only come out. The disciple does not understand. Then Maharaj explains, what do you get when you squeeze orange juice? Orange, He says orange juice. What do you get when you squeeze apple? He says apple juice. What do you get when I squeeze you? Hatred, anger. So whatever is inside only will come out. No? So like that, because we have filled our hearts with kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, lust, greed, envy, anger, hatred, all of this, when we are put under trying circumstances, only that will come out from our hearts. So therefore, it is a process of cleansing. So therefore, as a devotee or a sadhaka, we have to make sure, distance ourselves from the mind. When the thought comes, observe the thought. Do not meditate. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. Don't meditate. Don't do adhyayan on that thought. Let the thought pass. I am not that thought. Hey mind, I am not you. I'm a spirit soul, eternal servant of the Lord. And the moment you don't focus on it and say Hare Krishna, the thought will pass away. Like that, we safeguard our consciousness every time the thought emanates. So, and therefore, in case of Jayatirtha, when he got chastised, what happens? Inside him was auspiciousness. So therefore, he surrendered to his spiritual master. So therefore, we have to remove all of this dirt from our heart and establish ourselves with purity inside. How do we do that? By studying the pastimes of glorious acharyas like Vrindavan Das Thakur. In fact, Vrindavan Das Thakur was born to Narayani Devi. Where was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu holding his kirtans every day? Every night, sorry. Shiva's Thakur, Shiva's Angan. If you go to Shiva's Angan, you will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was engaging in beautiful kirtans in the night, and it was a secret kirtan, not everybody was allowed in it. In that, Shiva's Thakur's brother's wife or brother's daughter, there was a small young girl in Shiva's house. She was only 4 years old. Her name was Narayani Devi. She used to always go and get mesmerized by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had special mercy on her all the time. He used to give his remnants to Narayani Devi all the time. And he used to express special love to her. And every time she used to see and interact with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she used to go into ecstasy. So therefore, her heart was very pure. Therefore, Krishna says, that is why in Sanskritam, you know what is the meaning of Vasudeva? Vasudeva means clean heart. If you have a clean heart, Vasudeva takes birth from that. So therefore, Vasudeva means a cleaner heart. And then Krishna will come and sleep there or sit there in our hearts. So that's why it is called Vasudeva consciousness. So when we become Vasudeva, then Vasudeva can manifest from our hearts. So like that, Narayani Devi was also very pure in her consciousness. So what happened? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed her, and therefore she had a glorious son who was born, who was none other than Vrindavan Das Thakur. It is said Vrindavan Das Thakur was a literary incarnation of Vyasadeva, who had come to write the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Vyasadeva had explained the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna, and therefore Vrindavan Das Thakur had manifested to explain the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his glorious work called as Chaitanya Mangala or Chaitanya Bhāgavata. Because Chaitanya Charitamrita is composed by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. In fact, there is a detailed commentary of Chaitanya Bhāgavata by His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Detailed commentary, and even Srila Prabhupada glorifies that Vrindavan Das Thakur was a glorious devotee. He was a personal and initiated disciple of whom? Nityananda Prabhu. He comes in the Nityananda Sampradaya. See, Gaudiya Parampara is only about 4 or 5. You'll have Nityananda Parampara, Advaita Parampara, Mahaprabhu's Parampara, like that. Like that, Janva Parampara. So you'll have 5-6 Paramparas. That if you see the tree of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Adi Lila, you will see the branches and sub-branches of Mahaprabhu's Parampara. So he comes under Nityananda Prabhu's lineage, and he got initiated when he was 16 years old. And Vrindavan Das Thakur goes on to compose the Mahaprabhu's pastime. In fact, Nityananda Kripa Patra Vrindavana Dasa Chaitanya Leelaya Tenho Hayena Adivyasa. By the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, Nityananda Kripa Patra Vrindavana Dasa. So because of the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, what happened? He could explain the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Leela, as Vyasadev. So therefore he is glorified as Vyasadev. So today is his glorious appearance day. He in fact, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also glorifies. He was born in a place called Mamagachi, and then he preached in a village called Denura village. So this is the glorious pastimes of Vrindavan Das Thakur. We can, I was referring to Karunanidhi Prabhu's email yesterday, which we got. In fact, we got it today midnight, 12 a.m. I think he was sending emails at that time. So I was referring to his emails and how beautifully Vrindavan Das Thakur's pastimes are explained. He had his own Krishna and Radha and Krishna deities which he used to worship, which is even worshipped today. If you go to Modrumadvipa, in the Navadvipa, there is one island called as Modrumadvipa. And there we can go and see Vrindavan Das Thakur's birthplace and all those pastimes he had in those days. If we read Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami actually takes permission from Vrindavan Das Thakur and see the dealings of the devotees. Beautiful dealings you will see, how he was so humble. Wherever there is something extra he had to say, he will glorify Vrindavan Das Thakur. He will say, oh, Vrindavan Das Thakur has explained this in Chaitanya Bhāgavatam. Therefore, although I am not qualified, I will explain a little bit more here. And he explains, even though at the age of 90 plus years, he explains beautifully in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And even Srila Prabhupada glorifies Vrindavan Das Thakur in many places in his writings, in his books. So today is a good auspicious day to meditate on these acharyas, to purify our thought process. And in fact, Saubhari Muni also was able to recover. You will see Prabhupada actually preempts what happened to Saubhari Muni. Interestingly, what's interesting, many acharyas comment on this. When he goes to the king, Mandhata, he says, I want to marry. But Mandhata was a bit clever. He says, oh, very old guy, man, how can I give my daughter to him? So he devises a plan. He says, Acharya, you go, let my girl see you. Whoever agrees, then you can marry. He knows, because he was thinking nobody will agree to marry him. If they agree, I don't have any problem. Then the Saubhari Muni understood. Oh, this guy is very clever. He doesn't want to agree to give one girl to him. So he's saying 50 girls will look at me. So I'll transform myself so that all the girls will get attracted to me. This is typical. Every girl wants a beautiful husband. No? Which girl wants a old, dilapidated guy? Everybody wants a handsome husband. This is general nature of a girl. And Saubhari Muni understood it. So therefore, he manifested in such a way that all girls wanted to marry him. Interestingly, it is said that he married all the 50, and then he constructed palaces of gold for each of the wife, and he was living with each wife simultaneously. He could expand. This is a prelude. If Saubhari Muni could do and convince 50 wives, what to talk of 16,108 wives, who is the Supreme Lord? So this is a prelude in the 9th canto, the Acharya's why. Okay, now you see, Saubhari could do it, why not Krishna? So all the 50 wives were very happy with him. In fact, Mandhata comes, which is this 47th verse you will see. Mandhata thinks, I am the ruler of the whole, the 7 Dvipas. Jambudvipa, he is the ruler of the 7. The wealth that Saubhari Muni has is beyond my wealth. What is the wealth? The wealth of Adhyatma, the wealth of spirituality. He could manifest all of this through his chanting of the mantra alone. He could manifest. That's why Prabhupada says, many people materially earn so many things because of knowledge, but he was able to manifest just by chanting the mantras. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Again, we should not have ant mentality. It is possible, as I said. So, but Saubhari Muni had 100 children with each wife. So now mathematics, 100 into 50, 5,000. After all of this, he started to realize, my God, where have I got myself into? I've got stuck deep into samsara. Immediately he washes his hands and walks away from that grihastha ashram and takes to vanaprastha ashram, and he goes, starts meditating, because by nature he was a pious soul. And it is said the wives also walk with him because they realize the power of spirituality. They do not complain and file for divorce. How dare you leave us? I want half your wealth. No, they don't do that. They also walk with the sadhu, and therefore Mandhata, because Mandhata, again, the glories of Mandhata is given in many other Puranas. He was a glorious king. He also surrenders to the wealth of spirituality that Saubhari Muni had. So this is just a pastime for us to learn. And Prabhupada culminates that we can derive the instruction from the life and activities of Saubhari Muni that anybody can fall down at any instance. So therefore we have to grab hold of the lotus feet of Krishna at all time, place and circumstances and save ourselves with Maya, from Maya. So I'll stop here. If there are any comments or questions or discussions, we can have it for a few seconds. Yes, Sivi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, we see in this pastime, and also you mentioned a Jamila, how by merely just seeing one sight, they fell down and they really had to pay for it at the end. So when we see these examples, hear about this, we sometimes feel scary because in this age, which is like full of distractions, we feel like what is our result going to be? But then on the other hand, we see in this Kali Yuga, we've had the merciful appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada. So will we get less of an punishment from our distracted chanting, or will we have to suffer the same amount?
Sivya says it's scary that he fell down just by one sight of a fish, because we are in Kali Yuga and Maya is everywhere around us. Just take out your device, you will see Maya. So because of the appearance of Prabhupada and we being in the movement of Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are we saved harsher punishments? And is there any discount offer in the offering? Is what Sevya is after, a discount offer. It's still May. You have to wait until end of June. End of year financial sale. To err is human. Falling down in Kali, Acharyas know that Kali Yuga people are weak. But Krishna also says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strict. If you really see, we say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but do you know how strict Mahaprabhu was? My God, he was very strict. He was very, very strict. And so was Bhaktisiddhanta. And so was Srila Prabhupada. So, the strictness and being scared, actually it's good. When we get scared of certain things, it's actually good. Certain amount of fear is important to safeguard our consciousness. So, as long as we realize we have made a mistake and don't commit the same mistake again and learn from those mistakes, we are saved. Because Krishna tells, Apichet Suduracharo. Apichet Suduracharo is what? Even if a devotee starts becoming a Durachari, maybe once or twice, he's excused. But if it becomes a habitual offender, then Krishna will fulfill that desire. Making sense? Krishna will say, okay, you're not ready for me because you want Maya. So be it. So Krishna is very big heart. He'll say, oh, you want Maya better than me? So Krishna will, yatha ichhasi tatha kuru, Krishna says. So your ichha is that, then he will fulfill. So therefore, a sincere devotee always is very careful in the dealings everywhere. And he walks very carefully, he treads very carefully and follows the instructions of, for in your case, I can say, you're very fortunate to have very amazing parents. Just be under the shelter of the parents and take their instructions, especially when times of the teenage hit. It's a very turbulent time between 13 to 18, it is said. We've all gone through it. Everybody, all of us, I'm so unfortunate that we didn't have parents like you, or when I speak to my son, I say the same thing, that very fortunate that we have such a glorious congregation here. And when we carefully safeguard our consciousness, then after we cross the mountain of anarthas or the disturbances, Then we will see when we become 25, then the boat of bhakti will be very stable. I can speak for myself or my fellow friends who have gone. Their boat of bhakti is very turbulent. They cannot focus to chant when they are 40 plus because their teenage life they have been very turbulent. Therefore, this is the best time of the life to strengthen and what is called as to strengthen our consciousness and be careful and stay away from all distractions. So some amount of fear is important, that we can use that fear in our advantage. Actually, does it make sense? I don't know if I answered you nicely, but that's what I feel is right at this point in time. But yes, because Mahaprabhu is there, he will protect us and he will safeguard us from falling down in the first place if we catch hold of his lotus feet strongly. Thank you so much for your wonderful questions. Okay. Any more questions? Comments? Thank you. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Pradhurbhav Divas ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.